Hey everybody, I'm excited to be back with another support tip on this tiny little figure. This is, I think, 32 millimeters tall. He might be 34 millimeters tall stretched out. But you can see he's got a tiny little wisp of hair, which is maybe 2 millimeters long at best, and some tiny little fingers with some tiny little pointy fingernails. So I realized when I went to do this wisp of hair, my current support style, which has of course evolved from the time I started doing the supports, I ended up putting 14 supports on this tiny little wisp of hair. 14. You might think, Greg, that's nuts, that's overkill. But no, it perfectly supported the hair, and I'm going to show you how. And on the fingers, which had tiny little pointy fingertips, older style would be a thick support there to hold up the fingers till they join up with the hand, and then maybe a thicker support behind the palm. But these days, no, I can preserve these better. So I use a tiny little thin one at the tip of the nails, which won't really hold the finger, and then a bunch of really thin light ones behind it. So not only did those fingernails and fingers print out perfectly, but there's no visible damage at all on it, and it just came out pristine. So I want to pass this on to you guys to make sure when you're supporting small thin parts, use a lot of small thin supports, distribute that weight evenly throughout those small supports, and they will hold. So I'm going to show you what I did here. We will jump into, this was done in Chitubox, but I do the same thing in Lychee, and I use basically the same settings for tip diameter that I'm going to go over in the video coming up. It's only like 2 minutes long, so bear with me. The other thing I should throw out there though, I made that April Fool's joke video about 8K printer. Lo and behold, I think it's only 6 weeks later, Frozen announces an 8K printer. It's going to have a 15-inch screen though, so that's huge. 15-inch screen at 8K probably still gives us what about the same resolution we're getting on the 4K at 9 inches like the Saturn. That's my guess. I haven't done the math yet. Too excited over the announcement. But anyway, normally I would never talk about a product till I have it in hand and test it. But it's nice to see an 8K screen coming out. That also means I have a feeling they're going to be coming out with a small screen. I don't think it'll be 8K, but I wouldn't be surprised to see from, if not Frozen, from someone else very soon, a small screen 6K printer, which I think would be great. It'd be awesome. I would love it. So anyway, don't want to waste any more time today. Let's jump into, one thing I always keep forgetting to mention, and it's been for like 6 months, and I just keep forgetting to mention it. I started a Facebook group, not for my own self-aggrandizement. This is a Facebook group for resin 3D printing, no ads allowed, because I found in every group I'm in, 90% of the posts are ads now. So in this Facebook group, I'll have a link, it's 3D Resin Printing with 3D Printing Pro. It's only for people to post prints, get help. You can even show off your paint jobs, whatever, but no advertising, no Patreon links, no Kickstarter links. I don't even advertise my own stuff there, okay? No advertising allowed. I want to create a safe haven for people who just want to learn about their 3D printers, get help, share prints. Everyone who posts their settings, so you can always find whatever resin and machine you're using, you can find someone usually who's posted a successful post and what their settings were. So if you do come to that forum, please join it. If you do come, when you post all your settings whenever you show off a print, because that way it helps the rest of the community. So anyway, I keep forgetting to mention that I have this channel. Again, it's not for me, it's for you guys. I just want a place with no ads where you could come and get the advice and help you need, or if you want to show off, just show off your prints. But again, no advertising, no links. So I always forget to mention that. So that's it. Let's jump into Chitubox. Let's just take a really quick look at this so you can see what I did, and hopefully it will help you guys out. So we're looking at 6 supports on the left side of this wisp of hair and 7 on the right side, and then 1 anchoring it at the bottom. By using ultra light supports, just 0.10 tip diameters on the sides, and stabilizing that whole wisp of hair, even though it's tiny, allows me to use a much smaller support at the very tip of the hair. The anchor support is just a 0.15 instead of having to use something bigger like a 0.25 or a 0.30 if I had no supports on the side. Likewise on this hand, which has these tiny pointy little nails, I don't want big anchor supports at the bottom of those fingertips and those nails because it's going to ruin those nail tips. So I use small ones, and then I put 27 really light supports behind the fingers to make sure the fingers would then print without pulling off, and then 1 big support on the palm of the hand later to anchor the whole thing. So how does it work out using tons and tons of light supports to try and do this work? Well, let's look at the picture and see. I would say that this method of supporting is incredible because the hair came out perfect. See the wisp of hair? The fingers and those tiny pointy little fingernails were perfectly preserved. And my goal is to print what the artist sculpted. And I think I achieved that here. So hopefully this will help you guys get better prints when you're doing your own supports. Remember, sometimes more is more, which is good. A lot of really, really light supports gets the job done. So again, hope this tip helps you out. And thanks, and happy 3D printing, everyone.